In my last video, I told you Breitling was hiding something. Dark dial, dark subdials, a Navitimer Cosmonaute that didn't match anything in the catalog. I said draw your own conclusions. This morning, Breitling officially announced the Navitimer Cosmonaute, Artemis 2 limited edition, 450 pieces, $11,900. And yes, it is the watch we spotted on the wrists of all 4 crew members before anyone admitted it existed. Here's what we're looking at. 41 millimeters, Breitling caliber B02, in-house manufacture movement, column wheel chronograph, 70-hour power reserve. The original ran a Venus 178 with 44 hours and was delivered to him 6 days before launch. Progress: 24-hour dial, same layout as the original Carpenter wore on Mercury Atlas 7 in 1962. Now, people always ask why astronauts wear so many watches. Commander Wiseman answered that himself. The X-33 was set to Greenwich Mean Time because launch teams build their countdown cadence around it. The Cosmonaute was set to mission elapsed time, hours since launch, no AM, no PM. And the crew's personal speedmasters? Houston local time, so they could track when their families were awake. 3 watches, 3 jobs. The Cosmonaute wasn't a collector's flex. It was the MET instrument. And Wiseman says the 24-hour face was, quote, extremely helpful. And the dial is blue. Not the near black I expected from the mission footage. A textured, almost icy blue that shifts depending on the light. Matched color slide rule bezel, framing a domed sapphire crystal, so the whole face reads as one unified instrument instead of the 2-tone look on the standard production model. 22 millimeter lugs on a black leather strap, and this is steel. The Cosmonaute hasn't been available in steel for a while, only gold and platinum references. Breitling brought it back to the tool watch material for the edition that actually went to space. I've this on my chunky 8-inch wrist. At 41 millimeters, it wears smaller than the older reissues, but the 24-hour dial is still dense. This dial makes the argument for a big 46 millimeter watch, which I love. This is the kind of watch face you want to study, not glance at. Sapphire caseback. Artemis 2 mission patch visible through the crystal. And if you look closely, there's a little engraved astronaut tucked next to the Artemis 2 name. It's a nice Easter egg. Somebody at Breitling has a sense of humor. NASA asked Breitling to hold off on the announcement until after the mission. They want a distance between the crew's return and the sales pitch. The space agency doesn't want a lunar mission turning into a product launch while the astronauts are still in debrief. So Breitling kept quiet, flew the watch 250,000 miles from Earth, splashed it down in the Pacific, and waited. Breitling lasted about 28 hours before teasing it on Instagram. I need to talk about something. 3 atmospheres, 30 meters of water resistance on paper. But in practice, that means don't submerge it. The original Navitimer Cosmonaute in 1962? No water resistance rating at all. Carpenter spent an hour in the Atlantic after an off-target splashdown, and the salt water corroded the dial and movement so badly that NASA rejected the watch for future missions. The watch sat damaged in Breitling's archives for 60 years. So in 64 years, Breitling went from no water resistance to barely any water resistance. By the way, Vermont and IWC are both dropping space-related watches this week as well. This is counter-programming. Breitling doesn't exhibit at Watches and Wonders, so they picked the one week the entire industry is looking at Geneva and said, we are go for the moon. 450 pieces. They won't last long. Commander Wiseman settled it. It's a mission instrument, so why is it still rated for a puddle? Drop your answer in the comments, keep your speed up, and your crown screwed down. If you haven't seen my full breakdown of every watch on the Artemis 2 mission, link is right here.